I remember, like, because I used to watch Sargon of Akkad a lot, and I don't like this guy anymore. Like, not least of which because I think, like, I don't really like the classical liberalism. I don't like how anti-communist he is. I don't like all that shit.
I mean,
but also, go ahead.
I'll let you finish first, and then I'll give my thoughts on Sargon.
So I would watch him though, and like way back in like 2016, 2017, and he would do like This Week in Stupid or whatever, where he would talk about all these like feminists and shit. And like for a while, I became a shit lib, and I became one of those cringy SJWs. But looking back on it, I think a lot of his criticisms of like the left did hold water. Even though, like, while I was a shit lib, I would have said, no, Sargon was stupid. He was completely wrong about everything. But I think some of his criticisms, like how the mob think, or like the group think that the left has, like this authoritarian sort of mob violence almost, but online. Like, I think that is a good criticism. Like, that is a good observation. Go ahead.
Okay. So, like, when it came to like Sargon of Akkad, I remember I just thought it was I do remember seeing him around like during the time of Gamergate, and to me he was like a stereotypical Gamergater. He's got like he's portly, he's got like a black beard, he's a gamer, he's anti-feminist. It's like just go down a list of like stereotypes and he's like a stereotypical Gamergater type. And I just thought it was kind of like funny, and I kind of like started like watching some of his content, and he seemed to have good or interesting takes on certain issues. And it was funny. What's that, Default?
Oh, it was nothing. Are you guys still 1v1ing at this point? Because it doesn't sound like a debate anymore.
It wasn't a debate. I never said it was a debate. I don't think I ever advertised this as a debate.
It's not really a debate. It's more of a free-form discussion. And at certain points, we'll be like debating on issues, but I don't really care for it to be like really strictly structured.
Yeah, we're just talking.
Anyway, about Sargon, like I do remember back in like around like 2016, somewhere between 2016 and 2017 was when I started like watching content related to him, and I saw the whole exchange between him and Kyle Kalinske. Back in like 2014, Kyle Kalinske was saying that the wage gap exists and that women get paid 77 cents to the dollar or something, and Sargon was like, no, it isn't. That's not going on, you idiot. That was like they at a university took a study where they just took the all men and all women and they just like combined the numbers together and compare them that way. And then after that, then they start like having discussions with each other on Google Hangouts, and they're like totally cordial, as if that exchange never took place, which I just thought was kind of funny. And the thing that kind of like killed me is Kyle Kalinske never ever addressed the obsession Sargon had over Anita Sarkeesian.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. He was obsessed with her.
I mean,
So was Thunderfoot. Like a lot of people were obsessed with Anita Sarkeesian. It seems like.
And Thunderfoot was one of those Gamergaters where it's like he used to be more like liberal prior to the Gamergater shit, and then when Gamergate took place, he started like, at least during that time, like shifting to the right, at least on that issue. But with Sargon, he created his YouTube account since like 2013, and his very first video was about Anita Sarkeesian. And I know this because I like sifted through all of his videos, because he said that when he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, he said that he created his account in 2013, and Anita Sarkeesian was complaining about harassment ever since she created her channel in 2012, I think it was. So the harassment didn't start with Carl Benjamin, which is Sargon's real name, because his real name's been out there. He ran for a public office in the past. Everybody knows him Carl of Swindon, so that's not a dox. But the thing is like Carl Benjamin admitted to making over 30 videos about Anita Sarkeesian in a single month. And me and like a lot of other people in the comment section are like, Carl, you're married. You have kids. Why are you obsessing? Like, there's something that looks a little suspect about it, you know?
Yeah, that in a month? It's literally one a day. Like, holy shit. I think every single day he dropped a video about Anidia Sarkeesian for a straight month. That's insane.
And it's not just... And Anidia Sarkeesian isn't the only woman that he, like obsessed over. It was also Lindsay Ellis and Shoe Head. And Ellis kind of like lampooned it by saying, like, look, Carl, I know you fuck me, but I'm married. And it's like, Carl's been married to his wife before the Gamergate stuff took place. So I'm like wondering, is he like missing something in his life?
But wait, you mentioned Shoe Head. I remember like when I made my shift all the way to the left, Shoe Head started talking to Vosh, and fucking Sargon like lost his mind over this. Like he was like, "No, you can't go, Shoe Head, you cannot go become a communist or something." I'm trying to do the accent, but
I could try. Shoe, you can't become a communist. You're going to kill your workers. Not sure.
It's like
I gotta practice my English accent.
Yeah, me too. But like, yeah, it was like what? It was so weird too. Like he was like obsessed on this on Twitter for days, and it's like, bruh, why do you care so much about who Shoe Head talks to? You have a wife,
a wife that he had multiple kids with. So it's like, what's the default?
Never mind.
So, Sargon of Akkad, I think there were two things about Sargon that I didn't like. One was when he talked about abortion, why he wanted to keep it illegal. He's like saying like, some people are complaining they can't get an abortion. And he wasn't saying anything about the fact that like, oh, well, you're killing a child basically, which I'm not anti-abortion, but that's usually the strongest argument to make. Either that, or in the case of the United States, that it would be a violation of the life, liberty, and happiness part of the Constitution. So it's constitutionally questionable in that way. No, he said, well, I mean, he doesn't live in the United States, but so it wouldn't apply to his country. He said, well, I had kids. Millions of people do it. So you shouldn't be allowed to have that choice. That was probably like one of the two things that made me start to dislike him. And I think he's a white nationalist, but that didn't come out until like years later.
Yeah.
The other thing is like he was like a Gamergator who was like bitching about any Sarkeesian and feminists who seemed like anti-gamer. And then Donald Trump, he blamed, mass shootings on violent games. And he did it like not just before he became president, but like two times during the time he was president. Not a word comes out of Carl Benjamin about it. So I knew he was full of shit, and I stopped.
Where was is Carl like ethnically English or something? Because you don't look like your typical English person,
isn't he?
So he's just like a.
Swindon.
He's just like a COD LARPer. He just likes a CODing culture.
No, he likes the reason he chose the name Sargon, if I remember right, is that Sargon came and conquered Akkad or whatever, or I think Sumeria actually. He came from Akkad and conquered Sumeria, and like Sumeria was originally a egalitarian society. But then Sargon came in and like took away all the women's rights, and that's why he chose the name Sargon of Akkad.
Yeah, the thing is Sargon of Akkad conquered an entire society. Carl of Swindon couldn't conquer a member of parliament seat in it. So
yeah, he's a very ridiculous human being still. I just like brought up the couple of good points that I remember that he made from way back in the day.